So this is where we left off last time, and we're heading into essentially final project land. And what we want to do here is really just sort of um, export this all out as just get it all textured, get the ceiling done, all that. And we're going to be doing that in the next few videos. So what I want to do is we took a look at this pot here. We talked about it as a tool for, let's grab the top part too. Just placement and scale and all that stuff. So this, I'm going to go ahead and same things before, just sort of move this out because we're placing all of these in our scene. I'm going to go ahead and just delete this. And I'm going to move anything else right now just off into this test area. Or actually, I could probably leave that in there and just place it over here just for visuals. If I want to create another variation, but I'm just going to place this off on the side. And that way I could just select all of this. So I was helping another student who's having some difficulty getting this in. And so we sort of, getting it into Unreal for his project to show. So there's a couple ways to do this. There's a plugin that exists, but what I was thinking is we could just go ahead and just do let's see, right click. I wonder if I could, select objects. And this will select everything that's underneath this here, just inside the gray box folder before we move it out into something else. And then I could just hit Control J, and this made this all into one object here. And I'm going to call this house. And then I'll show you how to bring it back together. And now I'm going to do File, Export FBX. And I'm going to navigate to my, essentially my folder, which I think we had on desktop here. And it was environment alias. And I'm just going to name this beach house _02. And as for my settings, I'm going to do selected objects. So it selects the house. Under path mode, copy, and then turn this on so it copies the textures and the materials that we created. And then we could do apply transforms. Like for my up, I'm doing Y up. Generally inside of Unreal, believe it or not, it's Z up. But let's see how this looks. And I'm going to go ahead and just unclick that, and then hit Export FBX. And then let's jump back into Unreal. All right, so here I am back in Unreal, and you can see in the corner it says 2 assets were edited. You want to open it. I'm just going to just hit yes and then let it reopen that. And then I'm going to go ahead and import in that house 02. And I want to make sure for materials, this is checked on. Textures is all there. Let's see, animations. I'm not importing any animations. Skeletal meshes, and I'm not really doing anything in that. Static meshes. Let's see. I want to make sure it says combine static meshes here. And that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit import. And then it should, I believe it was in my environment folder. We'll go ahead and hit yes to that because we're bringing in a texture. If I go to my environments folder here, let's see if we get our beach house 02 here. And I'm going to drag this in and see. It looks like it applied a default material, but I did have my planks here, and it did actually add my stone, which is pretty cool. But it looks like I'm missing some stuff like my wood beams, which is kind of interesting. And maybe I didn't include that or select that. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit import again. 2 changes to source content. Just keep hitting import. Let it import all that in. But you'll see here what's kind of nice is that I have my stone material, I have my roof, and I have my wood planks. So here's this, and I have a wood planks material here. And if I double click this, I can go ahead and just delete all of this. Grab my wood planks texture here. And for the time being, because there is sort of a little bit of an issue with going between Blender and Unreal, I'm going to just kind of go do this route where we keep writing over this file as we, kind of have everything selected. So for this guy, I'm going to delete him. And I'm going to place this one here, and we'll just kind of use this for now. Let's hit F to focus. Oops, let's undo that. F to focus, come on. I don't know if my F key is just not working. All right, there we go. And then let's hit F to focus on that. Yeah, all right, it is working. So we can just place this up here. And you can see with the lighting and, looking at it in Engine, which I like to do periodically, it actually gives it, you're seeing the shadows, you're seeing it in the environment. It gives it a little bit better of a feel. It's It's kind of beautiful, you know. And then sometimes if you're just working in Blender, you know, you can kind of get bored or lose the idea of what you're trying to go for. And with this, um, like I said, you can, you know, come on, there we go. Yeah, I have a bunch of applications, including Unity open, which is a big no-no. And so it's really starting to uh, like chug a little bit my computer. So, all right, there we go. All right, so let's go in and also with our planks material. Remember what I told you before? There is, if we select our main wood planks node, we can also check on two-sided, and we could apply that, and we could save that, and that kind of gives us that internal wall. So then now it doesn't look like it's, you know, it's hollow on the inside, right? Come on. All right, there we go. Same thing. We don't necessarily have our roof done either, but it's really coming along. I mean, I'm hoping you're enjoying this. And let's go back to Blender and figure out what's going on with these wood pieces. So what's happening is I didn't have them selected. I just had the building, so I didn't really, you know. So I'm going to actually hit Option Z here, and then I'm going to just hit Control J again, and then that will now I have those wood pieces. And let's just see what happens if I select this and I just do the same thing again, where I go to File, Export, FBX, and I just write over Beach House 02. And then it had all the same settings as last time. So let's jump into Unreal. My import appeared above my Blender, but I'm going to pause and go in Unreal and then hit import just so you could see it all happening at once. All right, here I am in Unreal. I'm going to hit import. And I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Let's see if it does it. Yep, that looks pretty good. It brought it in. And what's pretty cool is let's hit import again. Let it get its import in. And yeah, it's starting to come together. We've got our little guy there. And let's see. Did I name it wood pillars or poles or anything? That material? I don't know. Let's see. Wood grid material. Yeah. Well, let's do that. Let's make sure that these are named properly in Blender. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to hit Tab, go to Edit Mode. Let's just try again. Tab, Edit Mode. And then I'm going to hit A to select all. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit P, and I want to separate by loose parts. And then each one of these, let me click on that for a second. Looks like here, I mean, they are separated into loose parts. Something's going on where it's not allowing me to select active. Let's go to object mode here again. There we go. Okay, so let's make sure that these, if we look at the material here, it doesn't necessarily have a material. So here's wood posts. And what I want to do is, could be an issue. Like I'm seeing all of the materials are now applied to this piece. So that might be something we have to do is in cleanup is, so if we select these wood posts, so let's see this one, we have to make sure that this wood post is all the way at the top for these. If I select this, is it doing the same thing? No. So this one we have to make sure wood planks is all the way at the top. So let's get rid of this, whatever that default generic one is. Same thing with this. Let's get rid of that. I think that's kind of obstructing it too. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, like I think with if we're using something like Maya, you wouldn't have these issues. But and I'll make a whole series and I've got a ton of videos online on how to use Maya with Unreal. So let me know and I'll see if I could dig those up and I'll send them to you. All right, so let's go ahead and grab all of these now and let's see if that fixed it. So I'm going to hit Control J and I'm going to do the export again. And let's see if this time it fixes that color. And it did not. It did not bring in the color, but we were able to get the color to come in last time. But let's see, at least did it bring in that beach house material, the wood posts material. So let's actually double click this guy. And did it appear in here? Let's see if we isolate just this. Oh, here we go. It says wood posts right here. It's just the material that it's using is wood grain because we didn't apply a texture to wood posts. So yeah, it came in. It's right here. It's just called wood posts. We just need to, when we go to looking at this, we have to look down here where it says slot wood posts. All right, that's looking pretty cool. All right, so that's essentially how you can go back and forth. You're gonna have to do this merging technique, but go back and forth to bring your model in. And then what we'll look at in the next video is we'll continue to sort of, maybe we'll look at some more advanced modeling techniques to make this sofa area.